We all know smoking is the main cause of lung cancer. But what if there's another threat, one you can't see or smell? More and more people who've never smoked are being diagnosed with lung cancer. It's a trend that's alarming doctors and scientists. In the UK, about 6,000 non-smokers die from lung cancer every year. These are people who did everything right yet still got sick. The search for answers has led researchers to look beyond cigarettes. Now, a breakthrough points to the air we breathe as a hidden danger. Our environment, cars, factories, even the air in our parks, may be putting us at risk. The evidence is mounting. A new, invisible culprit is rewriting the story of lung cancer. This isn't just about numbers. It's about real people blindsided by a diagnosis they never expected. For years, there were no clear answers. But science is catching up. The air around us may be the silent killer we've overlooked. It's time to pay attention to what our environment is telling us. Meet PM2.5, tiny particles so small they're invisible to the naked eye. These microscopic pollutants are a growing concern in our modern world. They're constantly floating in the air all around us, an unseen presence in our daily lives. We breathe them in without even realizing it. PM stands for particulate matter, a general term for a mixture of solid and liquid droplets suspended in the air, and the 2.5 inches refers to their size, 2.5 micrometers in diameter. To give you some perspective, that's about 30 times smaller than the average human hair. It's truly astonishing how something so minuscule can have such a significant impact. These particles come from a variety of sources, including car exhaust, a major contributor in urban areas. Factories, with their constant output of emissions, also play a significant role. Power plants, especially those that burn fossil fuels, are another key source. And even seemingly harmless activities like using wood-burning stoves can contribute to the problem, especially in colder climates. Wildfires and dust storms add to the problem in some regions, releasing massive amounts of particulate matter into the atmosphere. These natural events can drastically worsen air quality. Essentially, anything that burns, from fossil fuels to wood, can create PM2.5, releasing these harmful particles into the air we breathe. And because they're so light and small, these particles can travel for miles, crossing city and even state lines, impacting air quality far from their source. The real danger lies in their incredibly small size, which allows them to bypass our body's natural defenses. Our bodies simply aren't equipped to effectively filter them out. PM2.5 slips past our natural defenses, bypassing the nose and throat's filtering mechanisms. They travel deep into our lungs, reaching the most vulnerable parts of our respiratory system, reaching the tiny air sacs, the alveoli, where the crucial exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place between the air and our blood. Once inside, they cause inflammation, irritating the delicate tissues of the lungs, and alarmingly, they can even enter the bloodstream, spreading throughout the body and potentially affecting other organs. PM2.5 isn't just linked to lung cancer, it's a significant risk factor. It's connected to a range of cardiovascular problems, including heart attacks and strokes, increasing the risk of these life-threatening events. It can exacerbate asthma, making breathing even more difficult for those who suffer from this condition, and emerging research even suggests a link to dementia. Every breath in a polluted area is a risk, a gamble with our health, delivering these harmful particles straight into our system, with each inhalation bringing us closer to potential health problems. It's a constant, invisible assault on our health, a silent threat that we often overlook. The fact that we can't see or smell them, that they're odorless and undetectable to our senses, makes PM2.5 an even more serious public health threat, as we're often unaware of the danger we're exposed to. Our modern world, with its reliance on combustion and industrial processes, has inadvertently created this problem. And now, we're all living with the consequences, breathing in air that's been compromised by our own activities. The air we breathe is no longer as safe as we once thought, and we need to be aware of the risks. Understanding PM2.5, its sources, and its health effects is the first and most crucial step to protecting ourselves and mitigating its impact on our lives. For years, scientists have held a strong suspicion that air pollution was intrinsically linked to the development of lung cancer. This wasn't just a hunch, it was a persistent concern fueled by observational data and preliminary studies. But concrete, irrefutable proof remained elusive. The definitive piece of the puzzle, the smoking gun that would solidify this connection, was stubbornly missing. That all changed with the advent of a massive, groundbreaking study conducted by the esteemed Francis Crick Institute. This wasn't just another research paper, it was a monumental effort. The study involved meticulously analyzing data gathered from nearly 500,000 people. The scale of the research was unprecedented, allowing for a level of statistical power previously unattainable. The data spanned across the United Kingdom, Taiwan, and South Korea, representing a diverse range of populations and pollution levels. Crucially, they focused their attention on cases of lung cancer developing in individuals who had never smoked, specifically those exhibiting a particular mutation in the EGFR gene. This genetic marker became a key focus of the investigation. And what was the breakthrough that emerged from this extensive research? The study revealed a direct and statistically significant link between rising levels of PM2.5, fine particulate matter, and the incidence of this specific type of cancer. The data clearly demonstrated that as pollution levels increased, so too did the number of cases of EGFR-mutated lung cancer. The correlation was undeniable. However, the study went even further, revealing that PM2.5 doesn't directly create new mutations from scratch. It's not a mutagen in the traditional sense. Instead, its primary mechanism involves waking up dormant, precancerous cells that already exist within our lungs. These cells are essentially lying in wait. The research indicated that as we age, a significant portion of the population carries these sleeping mutations, often without even knowing it. PM2.5 triggers an inflammatory response within the lungs, which then acts as a wake-up call to these dormant cells, stirring them into action. This inflammatory signal pushes these previously inactive cells to begin growing and dividing uncontrollably, ultimately leading to the formation of tumors. This profound discovery fundamentally reframes how we understand the relationship between cancer and pollution. It's no longer solely about pollution causing new mutations, but rather about its role in promoting the growth and proliferation of mutations that already exist within us. It's akin to pouring fuel onto a smoldering fire, intensifying the flames and accelerating its spread. For the first time, we possess a clear and concise biological explanation, supported by robust data, elucidating the precise mechanisms by which air pollution can trigger lung cancer in individuals who have never smoked a day in their lives. This revelation is nothing short of a game-changer for the field of public health, demanding a re-evaluation of our strategies and priorities. The evidence is now undeniable, compelling, and demands immediate and decisive action to mitigate the risks posed by air pollution. The narrative surrounding lung cancer has been irrevocably altered, marking a paradigm shift in our understanding of this devastating disease. We know these microscopic particles are all around us, but what exactly do these tiny particles do inside our bodies, at a cellular level? How do they manage to wreak so much havoc? When you breathe in PM2.5, these incredibly small particles bypass many of our natural defenses and reach the deepest, most vulnerable parts of your lungs, where they can embed themselves. This triggers your immune system, the body's defense mechanism against foreign invaders. The body responds with inflammation, attempting to isolate and neutralize the perceived threat. This is a normal defense mechanism, but with constant exposure to PM2.5, the alarm never stops ringing. The immune system remains in a perpetual state of alert. This chronic inflammation stresses lung cells, weakening their defenses and disrupting their normal function. This constant stress makes them more likely to make mistakes as they divide and replicate, increasing the risk of errors in their genetic code. This inflammatory environment wakes up dormant, mutated cells that might otherwise remain harmless. These mutated cells, like those with the EGFR mutation, find a fertile ground to grow uncontrollably, leading to tumor development. Furthermore, PM2.5 also accelerates cellular aging, prematurely aging the very building blocks of our lungs. This makes lung cells more prone to new mutations and significantly less able to repair themselves when damage occurs. It's a vicious cycle, a self-perpetuating problem. Pollution promotes existing mutations and simultaneously creates the ideal conditions for new ones to arise and thrive. Unlike tobacco smoke, which directly damages DNA through its carcinogenic compounds, PM2.5 works indirectly, by hijacking our body's natural processes, turning our own defenses against us. It's a subtle, insidious threat, operating beneath the surface, often unnoticed until the damage is done. This new understanding, this indirect mechanism, explains why the link between air pollution and cancer was so hard to definitively prove for so long. the danger isn't solely what's present in the air itself. It's profoundly linked to how our bodies react and adapt to its presence. The very air in our cities, the air we breathe every day, could be quietly nurturing disease within us, planting the seeds of future illness. It's a chilling reality, a public health crisis unfolding in slow motion, and one we can no longer afford to ignore. This isn't just a problem for a few cities, it's a global crisis. The World Health Organization says 99% of the world's population breathes air that exceeds safe pollution limits. In London, living in a polluted area can be as bad for your lungs as smoking a pack a day. Every address in London exceeds WHO guidelines for PM2.5. Across the UK, air pollution contributes to up to 36,000 deaths a year. The financial cost is huge, draining billions from the NHS and social care. In the US, millions live in areas with unhealthy air, despite clean air laws. The risk isn't equal. Low-income and minority communities are hit hardest, living closer to pollution sources. Air pollution is a health issue and a social justice issue. The new research shows everyone is at risk, no matter how healthy your lifestyle. You can't choose not to breathe. This is a threat we all share, and we all need to fight. Lung cancer is often silent in its early stages. Tumors can grow for years without symptoms, making early detection rare. When symptoms do appear, like a persistent cough or breathlessness, they're easy to mistake for something minor. Non-smokers and doctors alike may overlook the risk, delaying diagnosis. This late detection means survival rates are low. Early diagnosis is critical. Caught early, survival rates soar. The new link to air pollution means we need more awareness and better screening, especially in high-risk areas. Lung cancer in non-smokers affects women more than men, up to 60% of cases globally and even higher in East Asia. Scientists suspect hormones like estrogen may make women's lung cells more vulnerable to pollution-triggered cancer. Historical biases in diagnosis have also played a role, with women's symptoms often overlooked. This gender gap means women need targeted awareness and research. Being a non-smoker doesn't mean you're safe. Including more women in studies is crucial to understanding and preventing these cancers. Recognizing these differences is the first step to better care for everyone. The verdict is clear. Air pollution causes lung cancer. Scientists are calling for urgent action, tighter pollution limits, cleaner cities, and investment in public transport. The UK's legal limit for PM2.5 is 4 times higher than the World Health Organization's recommendation. Experts want governments to adopt stricter standards and invest in clean air policies. This means more low-emission zones, cleaner vehicles, and phasing out polluting fuels. The cost of inaction is measured in lives lost and billions spent on healthcare. The science is clear, the solutions exist. Now it's up to policymakers to act. Every day of delay means more people at risk. We must treat this invisible threat with the urgency it deserves. It's easy to feel powerless, but there are steps we can take. Check local air quality and avoid heavy exercise outdoors on high-pollution days. Choose quieter routes when walking or cycling, and consider air purifiers at home. Use public transport, walk, or cycle when possible to reduce pollution for everyone. Support clean air policies and let your representatives know it matters. Most importantly, don't ignore symptoms. Lung cancer isn't just a smoker's disease. Early diagnosis saves lives.